Let me ask you the question of the hour. How many of you have ever been in a job you couldn't stand, hated, failed at miserably, weren't, two hands? Yes, thank you. Okay. Weren't making any money, thought, oh my God, if I don't get out of here, I'm and like thinking this is so not okay. Raise both hands, right? Yeah, anyone not? Almost, right? So I'm in this job. Actually, before I take the job that I'm so bad at, I'm in a job that I was good at. I was actually teaching meditation. I love spirituality. I've been meditating many, many years. Many years. And I won't say how many years because that'll really be... I'm just having my 35th birthday next month. Okay, so anyway, I was teaching meditation, a local meditation center. I loved it. It was fun. It was really, really wonderful to hang out with spiritual people. There was one downside. Every day, I'd run across the street. I'd jump over a fence. I'd sneak into the local apartment pools. They had the little shower at the local apartment for their pool shower. And I would take my shower because there was no shower or bathtub at the meditation center. And I also slept on the floor. So every day I'd sneak over, jump over this fence, run into this pool shower, take my shower, run back, and be enlightened, right, of course, and give my enlightened lectures. Now, my friends heard this, that we're working in Silicon Valley, very close to where the meditation center was, and they said, we can do better than this for Janet Attwood. And they were coming to my lectures in their Jaguars, Porsches, Mercedes, right? I was going to their house for dinner, my one meal a week. No, just kidding. And... their beautiful houses up in the mountains, and they said, Janet, we've got a job. We've got one job open in our 13-people office, and you can make millions of dollars recruiting engineers. And what do you think I heard? Millions of dollars, right? Yeah, ching, 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 ching. You could see these dollar bill signs in my eyes. They were like bong, 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 right? And I was thinking of all the things that I needed to buy, because I did. I had one red dress. I swear, they saw this one red dress a lot. I had one red dress, and I don't remember clothes very often, but this one red dress, because it was starting to, wear me. And I was thinking, okay, let's see, dresses, car, house. I was checking it off in my mind. And they said, you'll be so good at this. You're enthusiastic. You love people. You're excited. You just have fun. You'll connect with them. This will be great. We know you're going to burn it up. And I'm thinking, I know I'm going to burn it up too. I'm so connectable, and I'm such a nice person. Anyway, they had this bell every day that they rang, and they would run to the front of the class office. They would run to the front of the office, and they would ring this bell every time they got a job for an engineer. And this bell, bong, 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 all day long, for everyone, for a whole month straight while I was there. But guess who? Moi. Everyone. And they were making so much money, and I was making nothing. And I was sitting there, and after a while, you know that feeling when people expect you to be a certain way, and you expect you to be a certain way, and you're a certain way? Right? And you walk in, and I started walking into work like this, and they started walking into work like this, and they didn't look at, and they'd be over having lunch together, not talking to me, because everybody was just contracted around this, including me. And I was thinking, I've got to do better than this. This is so not okay. And every night after work, I would go to the local meditation center. I would meditate. And I started really, really thinking, okay, this is so awful. This is so awful. I've got to change this. What am I going to do? And so I'm meditating one night. I close my eyes. Come out of meditation after I just had the deepest, most beautiful experience. Open my eyes, look on the wall, and I see this sign on the wall. And it says, Yes to Success seminar in San Francisco. And I think, okay, that's it. That's my sign. I've got to do this. I've got to go to San Francisco. I've got to go and take this seminar because I need something. And any of you ever lie to not be to work? Be at work? Anyone here? Come on, all of you liars. Okay. All of you liars who aren't lying. Okay, so anyway, so I call in sick, and I am like, I can't come, and I do this whole really fake, awful, sick thing, you know, Little Miss Janet actress, and I'm so happy because I hang up, they bought it, and I drive to San Francisco, and I sit down in the front row, just like all of you, of the seminar. And this woman walks in, and she is like this. You know that feeling? And she is like, yeah, yay! And she's talking about all of these great things that are really important. And the most important one was being in your integrity and doing what you care most about and really owning it and having that courage. And as she's talking, I'm like about 6 feet off the chair because I have this huge aha that I want to do what she's doing. I'm like, oh my God, I found it. This is the gift. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And as she's talking, and her name, by the way, is Deborah, who? Yeah, so she's talking, and I am like so excited, and I'm thinking, oh God, I've got to ask her if I can be her student, if she'll let me come to work for her, if I can somehow be around her energy so I can do what she's doing. And so I'm waiting the whole seminar. The whole seminar, I'm waiting for that moment. You know that moment? You know that moment is so important, isn't it? That right moment. And it's not coming, it's not coming. And it was actually, by the way, sidebar, in that seminar, when she was talking about a survey that talked about the 100 most successful people in the United States. And in the survey, what they found was that all of them were living what they considered to be their top 5 passions. So and that was when I actually grogged the passion test in that moment. But the most important thing, other than the fact that that was the birth of that thought, was I wanted to be like her. So I'm waiting for that perfect time at the seminar to go up to her and see somehow how can I be with this woman. And finally at the end of the seminar she goes, can anyone take me to the airport? Yeah! You know, and she's just like, stalker? You know? And I said, I will. And she goes, okay, all right, you know? And so I take her to the airport, and I'm waiting for her to, you know, have that moment. And finally, Deborah turns to me, and she says, so, and you know how beautiful she is, right? So, what is your dream? You know, what is it? And I said, and here's Janet Attwood's answer, I am so glad you asked me because if you don't hire me, you better move over because I'm going to be your next competition. And she looks at me, and they call her plain. I swear, it all happened at once. La 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 la. You know that moment where you want to just like, oh please, foot out of mouth. Anyway, she looks at me and she gives me a hug. They call her plain, and she walks away. And I am standing there with the foot in my mouth, so big time, and thinking, yeah, oh my God is right. You know, like, did I do that? But here was the thing. I was so clear about what I wanted to do, right? About being with her and learning this and doing this, that I thought, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You know how you do that? It's okay. You just screwed up your whole life, but it's okay. Anyway, so no problem. Dopest. No, just kidding. Okay, so anyway, so I'm driving that night back to the meditation center. And I think, no. I am so clear. I know that this is really important. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I know, and I'm having this whole conversation with myself. I'm going to follow her all over the United States. That's what I'm going to do. She's on her national tour. She's going to Boston, Washington, D.C. She's going to Iowa. She's going to Los Angeles. She's going to all these places. And I'm going to somehow, even though I am like so broke, somehow I'm going to get all the money I need. I'm going to buy these plane tickets. I'm going to sit down in the front row, and somehow she's going to have to hire me. And I'm going to keep following her, stalking her until she does, right? And so anyway, that night when I get back to the meditation center, I'm meditating. I come out of meditation, and my friend's there. And she looks at me, and she goes, so what's new? I said, what's new? What's new? You know, and I do this like, my drama thing. What's new? I said, everything's new. My whole life is new. I know what I'm going to do. I found this woman. I'm going to follow her. I don't know how I'm going to follow her because I'm minus money. But I know I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And then I told her my story. I said, this is my plan. And she goes, oh, yeah, okay, night. Bye. Okay, and then Deborah, I'm driving to work the next day, and Deborah said a lot of things. One of the things she said, get rid of all the old. So that night when I got back, and I don't think I've told you this, anybody ever this before, but that night when I go back to my house, get rid of anything that you don't want so you can make for new. So I was living with this roommate named Nancy. Nancy got almost every clothing I had, right? I just took them all in the front room, put them in a pile. There, Deborah said, get rid of the old so you can have the new, right? I think I had 3 outfits left. That don't do. Okay, so anyway. So I drive to work the next day, remembering Deborah says, burn your bridges, burn your bridges. So I'm thinking, okay, big bridge that's in the way, whatever's in the way of you living your passion, burn it. So I'm thinking, okay, what's in the way is this job. So I go to I go to the work, walk into the office, and I go, Ted, my manager, Ted, I know, it's not working. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, let's see, if I have my 2 weeks' worth of pay, and I give my notice, then I'll have that, and that'll kind of see me through, and then I can figure out the plan. And so I go, so Ted, I'm going to give my 2 weeks' notice today. And Ted goes, well, we've found that those 2 weeks are kind of wasted. Even though you're here, you're not really here. So we're going to give your going away cake today. And this will be your last day. Bridges burned so big time. So I'm driving back that night to the meditation center with my knee, like going, right? And I get to the meditation center, and I'm meditating, trying to, and all of a sudden, all of this paper is falling on my head. Seriously. And I'm like, what the? And I open my eyes, and my friend that I told my dream to the night before is dropping $100 bills all over my head. A lot of $100 bills. And she said, Merry Christmas, Janet Attwood. Go live your dream. Do you love this story, huh? Now, wait. Now, wait, before you clap, because it gets better, do you want to hear what happened with that money? Do you think I took her money? What? You're right, I did. I took her money, and I bought my plane tickets, right? Did Deborah tell this story yesterday? Because I'm going to shoot her if she did. Okay, so I took the money. I bought my plane tickets, and I fly to Boston. And I sit down in the front row, and Deborah walks in. Deborah, right? And she's so beautiful. She walks in, she scans the room, and she goes, hi, you were in San Francisco. Hi, nice, cool. There's me. Don't say a word. I swear, did not say a word, laughed more than anybody that whole day. And then she flies to Washington, D.C. I fly to Washington, D.C. I walk in on the front row. She comes in. She's scanning the room. She's like, what the heck? You know what I mean? And then, and trying to get it. And then she goes to Iowa. This time she walks in, and she picked it up, right? She goes, kind of like stalker, right? No, again, she's doing it again. And then finally, L.A. She walks in, she looks at me, and she goes, all right already, you're hired. You love that story?